this table of temptation they've put in front of us here. People who can't control their cravings for food, whether it's a peach or a piece of pizza or candy, are in danger of putting on weight. This week, new numbers were released that predicted at least half of Americans in 39 states will be obese by 2030. Not overweight, but obese. So is there a way to control your food cravings? Joining us from Chicago is Dr. Daniel Amen, an award-winning psychologist. He's the author of Use Your Brain to Change Your Age. Good morning, Dr. Amen.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, how does this work? I mean, why do we get these cravings to begin with?
Well, initially they were to help us crave things we needed, but that was a long time ago. Food has been hijacked by flavorists that they know how to put together certain combinations of fat, sugar, and salt to actually work on the heroin or morphine centers of your brain. And they can be totally addictive if you're not careful.
For the people who are capable of turning down cravings, is it that they have fewer of them, or is their brain programmed differently? Or what is it about these people who, for example, go carbless or don't eat saturated fats that's different from somebody like me who does eat these things and craves them?
Well, you know, you just talked about obesity, and the more a person's weight goes up, the more their pleasure centers actually go down. So if you don't become vigilant on what you actually put in your body, they can really get away from you and can get out of control.
So how do we actually battle these cravings? I mean, what are we supposed to do?
Okay, so a couple of things that are really important, and it starts by getting at least 7 hours of sleep at night. People who don't get that much have lower blood flow to their brain, which means they're going to make more bad decisions. You start the day with breakfast, but have some protein in the morning, because what protein does is it helps balance your blood sugar throughout the day. You also, people think of artificial sweeteners as free, but what we've seen is they actually activate cravings. And in studies, rats who were given artificial sweeteners versus sugar actually gained more weight. There's also some supplements, green tea, chromium can be helpful. But the most important thing, what we see at the Amen clinics, is if people actually stop using foods that trigger their cravings, so think of sugar and pastries and so on, that's the best way to get control of your cravings, is to stop using the things that trigger them.
Because you'll kind of grow out of enjoying them. As far as men and women go, do they crave differently?
Well, they do. We just did a study with comparing the brains of 10,000 males and females, and female brains are just much busier, much more active. So they're going to go after sweets more than men, because we find that raises a chemical called serotonin that begins to calm things down in their brain.
If you deny yourself cravings for long enough, eventually will they disappear?
You know, sometimes it actually happens very fast. In as little as 3 or 4 days, if you start, you know, getting rid of the bad food in your diet, is your taste buds begin to come back and you stop craving or thinking about foods. You know, what's really crazy is, you know, I have my grandchildren for them, but food cravings actually get into the same part of the brain, so people begin to long for things like chocolate or blueberry muffins. And just because it's a blueberry muffin, we know blueberries are good for the brain. Blueberry muffins are not good for the brain. People lie to themselves all the time.
I do think I figured that out, actually, even though I often go for the blueberry muffin. Daniel Amen, thanks for being with us this morning.
It's kind of like